What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, CEO, MTS Nutrition. Guys, I've been answering questions via my Facebook fan page. That's facebook.com/Marc Lobliner. And essentially, I got tired of just making up stuff I think you wanted to hear. So I asked exactly what the people who watch my stuff, who look at my stuff, who follow my Facebook fan page, which a lot of these get posted on as well as YouTube, what they want to see. This one comes from Sarah Gabriel. Sarah asks, the body can take in more than 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, right? This is, of course, the case for men. But what about for women? Hearing your thoughts on this would be a good review and a good reminder for those who haven't heard you speak on this matter. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate your question, and you will be getting a free 5-pound tub of ice cream sandwich MTS way. Thank you so much. Now, I was reading the ISSN, the International Society of Sport Nutrition, their paper on protein. Not only did they state around, give or take, 1 gram per pound of body weight for athletes, but they also state in their synopsis, based on the current data, that 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal seems to be optimal for assimilation and muscle protein synthesis. However, what I did extrapolate from all the different diets and all the data coming out is that there really isn't a perfect answer. And here's the reason. While the intermittent fasting study we recently had done on the lean gains protocol, which is, I believe, 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of feeding, showed that the effects were pretty similar with both the diets, except some hormones were down and some hormones were better. For example, thyroid and testosterone were lower in the fasting group, whereas weight loss was greater in the fasting group. However, they also took in 200 less calories, which counts for the fat loss. But what I found out from diet theories, from timing, from all this, from the Minnesota study, which took basically obese women and basically looked at meal timing. It was a study done, it's called the Minnesota study. Is that timing doesn't really matter. Yet we also have the data showing that around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for athletes is probably the best way to go because you err on the higher side. Meaning that worst case scenario, that protein gets converted to carbohydrate or glucose via gluconeogenesis, so I'd rather err high. We could state that, okay, the average human, based on what we need, based on data, is more along the lines of 0.4 to 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight. However, I'd rather be a little bit higher. Worst case scenario, you just have some expensive carbohydrate and an inefficient form of carbohydrate at that. So, judging by all this, we look at the 20 to 30 gram of protein per pound. That's taking in the average. Now, you're telling me that a man who, let's say, is enhanced, let's say Jay Cutler when he was competing, who's around 5'10" tall, and weighs around 280 pounds, all lean, under 8% body fat, that he can assimilate and digest per meal the same amount of protein as a 5'2", 110-pound female. Exactly. It's preposterous to even think that's the case. So, in my opinion, meal timing and protein per meal does not matter, does not make a difference. If you're trying to optimize things and live perfectly, sure, maybe it does, but I think we're not seeing the forest through the trees, man. We're completely overlooking the basic fundamentals of making gains. The number one thing you need to do is get enough protein in your diet. I don't care if you do it if your protein needs for the day, for example, I am a 225-pound male. Okay, let's say I'm a 225-pound female. If I'm trying to maximize my results and maximize my protein intake to support lean muscle mass, or let's say I'm dieting, I want to make sure my protein's higher to prevent muscle loss, my goal is, let's say I set my protein, I'm not telling you this, the scope of this video isn't whether a gram per pound or 0.5 gram per pound of body weight of protein per day is optimal. That's not the scope. The scope of this is protein per meal. So let's keep the debate in there. And then we can discuss it in the comment section below. So if my goal is 200 grams of protein a day, I don't care if I get it in 200 gram servings or if I get it in 10, 20 gram servings. At the end of the day, I want to hit 200 grams of protein. In my humble opinion, as long as your protein is equal at the end of the day, and this is what I believe the data demonstrates more than the other ways. If you manage to hit that mark of protein, whether you do it in 10 meals a day or 2 meals a day, your results will be eerily similar, and there will be very little difference in the outcomes. So, in my opinion, you also have to take into consideration what your former meals were. I think the body's smarter than that. If you have been fasted for hours and hours and hours, and you take in over 20 to 30 grams of protein in that meal, your body will find a way to use that in its most advantageous state. If you are well fed and you have a lot of amino acids floating around, hey, maybe your body will go a different way. Gluconeogenesis, which is the body's conversion of protein to carbohydrate, is on a need-based scenario. So if your body lacks the other energy substrates, it's going to go towards gluconeogenesis. Do you understand? So that's my opinion. Anyway, guys, the bottom line is whether you're male or female, protein per meal, amount of feedings per day is way secondary to total amount of protein taken in. Let me know your thoughts. This is my opinion. This is how I base my life. I don't think we need to microanalyze things on a per meal basis. We need to look into what we're getting in throughout the day. We need to look at total macronutrients in. We need to look at total calories in, total calories out, and that way we can best judge how to best make our decisions. But I think microanalyzing things like protein per meal and meal frequency will make it harder to stick to this lifestyle, because after all, long-term results are a marathon and not a sprint. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Share this video. Like this video, and of course subscribe to this channel, and that's not a game.